All right. Howdy, Ken. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you, Professor?
I'm doing well, and I'm ready for episode 47. This is about supporting deep funnels when you're selling software as an affiliate marketer. I typically ask you a question, but today, because this episode is going to go deep, pun intended, and because we were talking about backstage, this idea, this concept of inception and being inside, like the movie Inception, right?
Yep.
The funnel, the front end of the funnel, starting off the inception, which inception, the synonym for inception is launch,
Yep.
right? It
Yep.
just it works so perfectly. So
Yep.
if you would, I would love for you to kick off to the podcast listeners and the folks, of course, watching on YouTube, how a deep funnel selling software, and specifically you as an affiliate marketer, how this works into this concept of inception.
Oh boy. We only have a half an hour,
I know.
unfortunately. Or I mean, we can go over if we need to. But it's really just planting that seed, that desire deep within their subconscious. And for those of you guys watching or listening, you know what I mean. If you are part of groups or on email lists, and all of a sudden you get these emails coming in into your email inbox, or these messages on social media talking about something that's happening, and they just kind of feed these crumbs, and it just starts building up in your mind this desire to know what it is. That's literally inception right there. That's they're going into your mind, and they're planting this seed that this product is going to be launching, and this is going to be the greatest thing that you're going to need. You absolutely need this in order to run your business and make oodles and oodles of money. And that's the seed that they plant. Everybody does it. Everybody does it to varying levels of degree. I should state, because
Yeah.
I'm not the type that goes really really deep in there. But there are some people, and we discussed backstage. This is like an awesome backstage. But there are people, if we're going to use the Inception analogy, that go, a dream within a dream. So a promotion and a funnel within a funnel, and they go really deep to plant that in there, so that when launch time comes, man, all hell breaks loose,
Yeah,
so to
true.
speak.
So, Eugene Schwartz, Break Advertising, wrote about that you can't create mass desire. It's not your job or your
Mhm.
function as a copywriter, as a marketer, as an advertiser to create mass desire. It's only to channel. So to channel the desire that's already there. So in this
Yeah.
case, we're talking about deep funnel selling software. And it's kind of a pet peeve of mine for people to sell software, period, in a funnel,
Yeah.
because it just sort of breaks down the integrity of the person selling it.
Yeah.
Because you buy the front end and then you're initially presented with an upsell.
Yeah.
And that upsell is another thing that you need to help the software do more of what the software was supposed to do when you bought the front end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a distinction there as far as if you buy the front end, and we use a car as an example, if I buy a car, I have a car. It's a
Yeah.
fully functional automobile.
Yeah.
All the other accessories or all the other upsells are just that. They're nice to haves.
Yeah.
They're additions. But
Yeah.
the car itself, you still turn the key, the motor starts, and you go up and down the road,
Yeah.
right? Get you to point A to point B and does everything that you need it to do.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about as an affiliate marketer selling software in a deep funnel, first thing I would say is you have to be cautious and be wary of, does it do what it says on the sales page? And because this is June 9th, 2022, I'm going to use a very specific example. And we went really deep into this in the backstage. I don't think we'll go as deep here in the podcast,
Yeah.
but the product was called Presentar. And it's just the software that makes presentations on the front end. But on the back end, it's actually a complete solution for an agency that creates presentations for clients and lets them interact on the back end inside of like a portal, and basically like a Trello board or whatever, where people can log in and interact and give suggestions and like actually build out these presentations and then share them and get feedback.
Yeah.
But you have to buy everything in the funnel to get to that function.
Yeah.
Whereas on the front end, it's just a presentation creator.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When you peel back the layers and you kind of just look at what it is, and I think that's the thing, is that it's sometimes it's hard, and we've both been there, where early on when we were kind of learning and trying to explore this whole affiliate marketing world, that we went through these types of funnels, and we bought into the hype a lot, and this product had a lot of hype, right? there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so, sometimes we get so caught up in that hype. But much like if we use the analogy of Inception, the movie, and how one of the characters in there, he was trained, his mind, his subconscious was trained to fight off those elements that were trying to influence him. It's the same way, like you and I, over a period of time, we've trained ourselves to look beyond just, the copy, because we want to get in and we want to see, does it do what it says it's supposed to do? And are there anything extra that they talk about saying that you can do, or, but without having to buy anything else? So I think that's one thing that people need to understand, is that when you're looking at these sales pages, there's sometimes there's promises on there, or there's features on there that they say, but when the professor talks about having to buy upsells in order to unlock that potential that they talk about, that to me is when it gets a little kind of that gray area. I mean, you use the analogy of a car. I'm going to use the analogy of, let's say, Get Response. When I go to the Get Response, pricing page, I can see exactly what I get and what I don't get. So I know that if I want that particular feature, I have to pay a little more from the very get-go, so that I know the price is the price. And I think that's, to me, I like that better, obviously, because there's no surprises. Like when I click that buy button or to subscribe to Get Response, that's it. There's nothing in there. That, they'll say like, oh, we've got, all these other features coming, which is great, but what I have access to, it works. And what they've given me access to is what they have told me I will get access to when I subscribe to that particular plan.
Exactly. So you said Get Response, but ClickFunnels from Russell Brunson, I mean, they don't even use a funnel to sell their software. Now, you can get into a funnel to get to their software to purchase it, but then they present you with the plan, the basic plan, or like the premium plan, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you know what you're getting into, basic or premium, right? Basic, pro, and all the different features that you get inside that software. I think that the problem, and to bring this back to Inception, is when the marketer or the marketing team that put together the funnel, we're talking about this deep funnel for software, specifically like in Presentar, when you land on the sales page, the idea and the thought has been presented to you that this software is going to change the way you do a certain function in your business. And then once you buy it, you're presented with another function or additional functions that you really hadn't thought about. But because the idea and the thought that this software was going to be good for your business was planted in your head, then you have this idea that everything and that all the features in this funnel and the way they're presented, because they're marketed to you in the aspect of it's going to increase your efficiency, it's going to boost sales, right? AKA you're going to make more money by having this product. And because you started off into this inception or this launch, right? This deep funnel, the seed was planted in your head that this product is the thing that's going to change. It's going to make the difference for you and your business. That's where you run into the problem. And this specific product, of course, over at Ken Furukawa Marketing, your YouTube channel, you did a review of the product.
Yep.
Over at my Real Reviews channel, I did a review of the product. And this funnel specifically is even deeper and really brings into the idea of inception and levels. If you look at the movie, the way that they were able to dive deeper and deeper into a person's subconscious once they were inside of the dream.
Yeah.
I actually purchased a product from this creator called Scribble, and it took me down the Scribble funnel, which was like the inception concept, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A dream within a dream, a funnel within a funnel. And for those of you guys who haven't seen the professor's review, I encourage you to watch it, because while we were both going through the funnel, we were communicating with each other, going, "Oh, yes, I saw this, I saw that," and I was so excited just to get in it, just to get to the product, that I didn't bother just going through and exploring all the little nooks and crannies like the professor did. So when he started saying certain things, and I was like, "Yeah, I saw that," and then he started explaining a little bit more, I was like, "Oh man, I should have. What was I thinking? I should have just." And I thought to myself, "I should I just record this, just my interaction as I go through, so people can see it." But if you haven't watched his review, he actually shows you and points out things that maybe you as a buyer don't care about. But if you are going to become an affiliate marketer, that these are things that you need to understand, that you need to see, because whether I agree with it, or the professor and I agree with it or not, it's good to see, because to me, at least the level of imagination that sometimes goes through putting these things together gives you ideas. It sparks ideas for you. But again, it's just good to see from a practical perspective how some of these marketers put together the promotions, these deep funnels.
Yeah. So that brings back a good point. And of course, I watched your review too, and I watched it. And when you logged in, you were actually in the software, because you said you were anxious to get to the software, and you actually went through the software more than I did. But one thing that was telling, it stood out to me as far as why, and or sort of how, and the thought process of this episode was supporting the deep funnel selling software as an affiliate marketer. As soon as you logged into the software, you were like, look at this, padlock, 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 right? All these areas that were padlocked, meaning you needed to upgrade.
Right. Yeah.
Even once you got into the software, there were literally more buttons to click to upgrade than there were functions of the software that you had just purchased.
Yeah.
So you as an affiliate, the relationship that you have with that vendor, and the relationship that, more importantly, you have with your audience, as soon as you sold them that software, as soon as they logged into it, they're going to be inside this hugely deep funnel, and they're going to be looking at it going, what does that have to do with what I need in my business?
Yeah.
And they're thinking, going back to the relationship, they're thinking, why would Ken or Gary do this to me? Right? Why would they put me in here unless this is what I need? Right? And then they buy the whole thing and realize at the end that they bought an agency software to support the clients that they don't have, specifically referring to our audience. Now, if you have it makes sense.
Yeah.
So then to go to the next level of the relationship between you and the vendor only created this deep funnel to get people into it, to earn more commissions, to make more money, because it's a 7-day launch, or 5-day launch, whatever. It's a launch.
Yeah.
And the entire business model that they're in to support their software long term is how much money they can make during the launch, because it's all a one-time price. Because Ken even said, I think it was backstage, or maybe when we were having the chat, who's going to pay this much money for this after the coupon code is gone?
Yeah. I mean, certainly I wouldn't. I mean, I don't utilize that type of feature. And if I do, in terms of creating presentations, if I do create a presentation, I'm just going to go to Google Slides, and I'm going to go to Slides Carnival and get a free template, and I'm going to just use that, whatever I think looks attractive, because for me, I don't utilize it in my business, and that's one of the reasons why too, that for me promoting it, I was kind of on the fence, and we had this discussion for a week. Remember, we were going back and forth. I'm like, maybe, maybe not, or maybe I should. And after a while, I was just like, you know what? I don't think this is something that I want to promote to my list. And granted, people on my list are on multiple lists anyway, so they're gonna get hit up by that. And not that I'm trying to be this knight in shining armor type of a person, but I really didn't see the fit with the solopreneur, the person who's just starting off as an affiliate marketer. When am I going to do these courses? Yeah, I would love to do a course. I would love to have a slide presentation and do all these types of things, but it's not part of my business model at this point in time. Will it be further down the line? Who knows? And if that's the case, and I'm willing to invest in a product like that, if it's still around and support it, then sure, I'll go ahead and I'll purchase the product, because I'll find value in it. But until I get to that point, I think one of the things that you're going to learn over time, not only as a customer, as an affiliate, is that you got to have discipline. You got to have some discipline. And for me, I saw the prize money, and I know the professor did too. And we realized, like, wow, okay, there's gonna be a lot of people talking about this. And if you guys were to just go to YouTube and just type in Presentar review, there's probably gonna be a gazillion videos. And I remember making mine going, man, what's the point? Like, who's gonna really watch my video? Because there's probably like so many people with a ton of bonuses that everyone's gonna be bonus shopping. Like, who's gonna be the best bonus? Well, that's who I'm gonna buy it from. So, I use the analogy of, like, my list, I protect it, and it's like handing over, your customers over to someone, saying, okay, this person, I trust them. They're gonna do good for you, and I'll see you back in an hour, right? Like, you're handing off your kids to someone, like your neighbor. And so for me, I didn't think like, well, I don't think it's a good fit. And even though there's prize money to be had and all the hype that surrounds it, I think I'm going to just lay back. I'm going to do a standard review, just to give people a viewpoint where they can just see it for what it is, and just leave it at that.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the funnel, a deep funnel, especially for selling software.
Yeah.
Now, over my other niche over in the self-publishing, I have some of these, and they're good softwares and they're supported, but they do this funnel thing, and they do it for a reason, because they know that it converts, and they know that they're going to make X amount of money. But I would prefer if they just sold the features on a feature list.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of customers that enjoy the software, but they also dislike it. But because they know that the product is solid and they have a reputation of supporting the product long term, then they just deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like, why do I have to, explain this away? And that's exactly what I do when I review it or when I promote it.
Yeah.
I literally take the time to lay out all the functions, and I call them out and I say, well, you need this to do this. You need this to do this. And this is how much it's going to cost you total to get all the features that you need.
Yeah.
And typically in those softwares, basically you have to buy the whole funnel, but it's an easier pill to swallow, paying $17 on the front end and then paying, 3 to 4 different times to get to $200, $300, instead of just seeing that sticker shock of $300 on the front end. So I get why they do it.
Yeah.
And as an affiliate, if you're okay with that, because the product is going to be good and exactly what the funnel is going to look like. And that's where I'm coming back to this Presentar thing, because during my review, I was actually led on an offshoot funnel, a funnel inside of a funnel, which caught me off guard and caught me by surprise, even as a person that had access to the affiliate page. And the funnel that they showed me was different than the funnel that I would have actually put my audience in.
Yeah.
If they were to take these different upgrades that were presented to them on the actual sales page, on the checkout page, so it kind of had me scratching my head. And that's why I wanted to use Presentar in this episode.
Yeah.
Nothing against Presentar, nothing against, the vendor that created it and the people that supported it. Hey, everybody gets to do what they want to do. Because like you said, we're not here to be white knights. Yep. You know what I mean? And you'll hear a word that I used in backstage to describe what I personally thought about the funnel. And it's what I believe, right?
Yeah.
It's the way it came over to me,
yeah.
And that's over our private chat, we had that conversation. And then as well in backstage, I used that word because that's what it felt like to me at the time.
Yeah.
And still, when I go and look at it, I'm just like, yeah, it's just a little off-putting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. As both a vendor and as a person that was buying the product, you know what I mean? Because I bought the product to review it. So
yeah. And I did the same too. I mean, I could have easily reached out and gotten a review copy, but then to me, I would have to really explain what you get at each level, because for me, like when I do a lot of the reviews, I just buy the front end product. I don't buy any of the upsells, because I want to show people that for this price, this is what you're going to get, but you need to pay X amount in order to unlock this, to unlock that, to unlock that. And, you just got to ask yourself, am I really going to use this? Because in the past, 4 years ago, I would have been like, oh man, I need that. Oh, I can see myself doing that. But now, I feel like it's, at least for me, it's my responsibility to, kind of guide people and at least let them know, like, hey, you know what, this is what you get. And if you want to do this, then you need to upgrade. If you want to do that, you need to upgrade. So you need to understand, like, what is the purpose behind using this software? Do you really need it? Because I can guarantee you that after the launch is done, it's going to be there for you. It may be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to be there. And who knows? There may be a discount coupon here or there. Who knows? But you don't need to have it right now if you're just getting started. And, we're talking about the truth about making money online. And so a lot of you guys are just starting off trying to find your way. Stick to the basics, man. Stick to the basics. Learn the basics first. And, when you get to this point where you're kind of in that fork in the road, then you can decide if this is the way that your business is going to go. I mean, I just want to give people that alternate view so that they can make the best decision for themselves. And we talked about, we used the example, right? If we're going to talk about inception of, we're like, whoa, people need to create their own totems here, like selling these tops. So that way, when you spin it, if the thing stops spinning, then you're outside of the funnel.
Yeah, you need to know the difference between reality of, what you really need in your business versus what sounds good while you're on the sales page.
Yeah.
Because if you land on the sales page and you read certain things that are written, and like Ken just said, if you lean back and you're like, I can see myself doing that. No, you really can't. You're caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
As a buyer, you're caught up in the moment. Okay. As an affiliate, is that what you want to do to your audience? Do you want to put them in that position? Now, if you set that seed, if you set that thought and you put them into that funnel for that specific reason, because this product will help them. For example, Presentar, if you know that you have people on your list that need the solution to present to their clients, to do these presentations and give these feedback and create these portals and all this and record these presentations and do the limited set of editing that you could do. Because I really want to focus on the fact that we're talking about the software that you are promoting as an affiliate. And you're supporting the fact that you're going to drop your audience off into this funnel that is insanely deep, full of upsells that are required to buy to bolt onto the software to get them to the end solution, which in this case, in this particular software, not bashing the software, but using it as the perfect example of a deep software. And you as an affiliate dropping your audience off, knowing that for them to use the full functionality to get the complete benefit that you've promised them, that the vendor is promising on the front end sales page, that they have to buy everything in the funnel. That's the question that you're asking yourself as an affiliate. That's the truth you're looking for.
Yeah. Because we talk about relationships a lot. We've talked about it a lot. And it's like one of the core themes that we've always talked about over the last 47. This is 47th episode. Well, actually 46. We got the missing one. We gotta have a special on that one. But I mean, you gotta ask yourself that, right? Is it something that's going to help people, your list? And maybe I like to take the high road, and that's just the way that I want to run my business. I'm not squeaky clean like everyone might think, but I do think that if it can help my audience, then for sure, I'd be happy to recommend it to them and to let them go through the funnel as long as I know what it is. So when I saw yours and we were going back and forth and you were saying, oh man, I went down a totally different funnel. I was like, what? Oh man, because I saw all the bump offers, and we're all used to bump offers, but I didn't realize that by doing that it would have taken you down a totally different path, which is unexpected because it was, like you said, it was never mentioned on the JV page. So it was just it was an eye opener because I feel like I've seen it all. And I'm sure you too, because we've bought many products over the years. And to hear that from you, I was like, wow, okay. Oh man, I didn't even realize that. That's kind of crazy. How would I feel if the person that I was associated with on their list put me through that? What would I say? how would I feel about that? I don't know. It depends on how hyped up I was about getting that product. But, once all the hype dies down and you actually log in and you're like, okay, well, now I gotta make some presentations. Was that it? Like what? What is it? But I mean, they did have an upsell where you can find clients and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like you gotta remove yourself, like have an outer body experience to kind of step back and you just go like see yourself right there at the keyboard, from behind. You're looking at yourself going, what is it? What is the sole purpose of this? You know, I mean, that's at least my take.
It is. And I really enjoyed the conversation we had backstage. And we really went deep into the inception model, the idea, the concept, looking at the different pieces of the movie, looking at the pieces of this funnel, this product specifically. And that's why we're using it as a real example, because it works out better that way. Instead of trying to talk around it, we're just going to let you know, look, this is the product, right? And we're not saying bad or good about the product, just that it brought out this episode for us, because literally as an affiliate, we support different softwares, but typically the softwares that I promote in the make money online space typically are like a GetResponse or a ClickFunnels or a Groove, where you land on the page and you get a pricing plan, and then that's sort of the way that I see software being sold.
Yeah.
But then these things pop up, especially this type of software on this scale is the same kind of thing that we see daily over on some of the other marketplaces where these marketers are putting out software that probably doesn't get supported long-term like this Presentar product will, because of the history of his other products, some good, some bad. And you can see more information about that backstage and as well in my review, where I sort of call out that as well, because it all goes back to that relationship that you're building with your audience and with that vendor and the way that they present the information to you. Because the truth about making money online is that's our job, right? We're giving you information so you can make an informed decision. And if you get to the point where you know that you can trust that information we're giving you, then you're going to like us and you're going to come back for more of our information, and we're going to make more money, because that's the business we're in, making money online. And we simply do that, in my opinion, in our opinion here on the Affiliate Files. You tell the truth and eventually you will make more money.
Yeah. And I think I refer to it as, and I've said this a number of times, that we're in the business of building trust. Really are. And if you want to have a long-term business where you have people coming back, repeat customers, then you help them attain a result, and you build that trust with them by recommending things that that you probably would use, or that you feel is good for your particular audience. And for me, I couldn't see my audience wanting to do like presentations and all that kinds of stuff, because most of them are beginners and they just need to learn how to generate traffic. That's it. Learn how to generate traffic, provide value, and build upon that as the foundation. And so I really didn't see it being something where, even though it was attractive and there was a lot of hype around it, I thought, oh, you know what, it's probably better for me just to do a review, show people what it is, so that some of these people are just going to buy the front end anyway. This is what you get for the front end. And are you okay with that? It's one-time price, and most people are going to buy it because it's a one-time price. But are you okay with that? Are you actually going to use it? Because if not, trust me, I've got, and I'm sure the professor has too, a boatload of stuff collecting digital dust on our hard drives that we've never even touched. So, and I know a lot of people are trying to bootstrap their way to success. And $47, you could, use it for something else. You could use it for a tool that you actually use it, your autoresponder or Canva or whatever it is that you're going to do.
Yeah, or you could just use it for solid training, or to get somebody to answer your questions, which leads me into the fact that this is June 9th, 2022. And on June 13th, 2022, myself and Ken are actually holding a workshop, the Affiliate Files, or TAF, TAF, the Affiliate Files List Building Workshop, where you can do just what I said about getting your questions answered about list building. Because Ken mentioned traffic. Traffic is real people coming to an offer that you have, typically to build a list, an email list, a Facebook group, whatever, a list of people that become your audience. And I know, just like I'm sure Ken does, always has lots of questions. So we ask each other, we ask people in our inner circles that we have access to. But if you don't have that kind of thing, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to come join us with Ken and myself and a group of other friends that are in marketing that are going to be there asking questions, and we're going to answer those questions in a live workshop.
Yeah. And that's, to me, the excellent explanation, because I know that when I buy products, sometimes when you ask questions and support, sometimes you don't get the answers that you need. And especially when it's something as critical as building a list, which, we all are striving to do, is to build a list of people who know, like, and trust us. You got to get those questions answered. And the last thing you want to do is have confusion or get stuck on something that's maybe for Gary and I would probably be a very simple answer, but you let that seed of doubt just kind of grow. We want to help eliminate that, so that way you can start building that list and feel confident in knowing that, yeah, these guys told me the truth about what it takes to build a list. Now I got my answers. I'm going to go out and do it. Simple as that.
So go to theaffiliatefiles.com/workshop. And when you land on that page, if it's after the date of the live, there may be the opportunity to buy the recording there, or they may be a different workshop, but there'll be some information there that you need to see this type of thing that we're talking about, where you can get your questions actually answered, or you can, again, check out the recordings. And also, information like this readily available inside of Backstage. And we hope we're doing a really good job of just giving you freely the information that you need to answer the questions that you have here on each podcast that we put out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And with that, I'm Gary. He's Ken, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.